Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into something I know pretty much all of us have dealt with at some point. It's a very practical, real-world scenario. Shopping. But more importantly, we're going to break down exactly how to correctly complain in English using past tense time expressions. It's going to be super useful, so let's get right into it.
Okay, picture this. Have you ever bought a pair of shoes that looked absolutely amazing sitting there on the shelf, but once you finally took them home and actually put them on, they felt terribly tight and just completely uncomfortable? We've all been there, right? That post-purchase regret is totally universal. You immediately just want to march right back to the store and return them. But when you actually arrive at the store holding those agonizing shoes, you have to prepare for that crucial moment. The shop assistant is inevitably going to look at you and ask the dreaded question, when did you buy these shoes? And this right here is where the challenge really begins. How do you respond with the right grammar so the whole exchange goes smoothly? Section 1. The tools. Essential vocabulary and grammar. All right, let's gear up. Here is your main ammunition for this situation. If the shoes are tight, the keyword you need is uncomfortable. The person you're actually negotiating with is the shop assistant. The action you're taking is to complain, and obviously your ultimate goal here is a change. Swapping those painful shoes for a fresh new pair. It's simple stuff, but it's absolutely foundational for what we're doing. Now, English uses a very specific pattern for talking about past events, which we call the simple past tense. It's kind of like a formula. When the shop assistant asks you their question, they use the helping word did. Check out the pattern. When did plus the subject followed by verb 1. The word did basically forces the main verb to stay in its original form. But here's the catch. When you answer, you don't use did. Instead, you have to change your verb to verb 2. So you can't say, I buy it yesterday. You absolutely must say, I bought it yesterday. Making that jump from verb 1 to verb 2 is super important. For example, buy is an irregular verb, so it totally changes shape into bought. Go becomes went. On the flip side, regular verbs are a bit easier. A word like arrive simply gets a D slapped on the end to become arrived. And our main action word for today, change, becomes changed. Nailing these shifts just ensures you won't stumble when you're trying to explain what happened. Section 2. Navigating time. Yesterday, last, and ago. Let's start off with the most instant, easy option, yesterday. The rule for this one is incredibly simple. You just stick it right at the end of your sentence. For example, you'd say, I studied yesterday, or in our shoe shopping context, I bought it yesterday. If your shopping trip literally just happened the day before, this is definitely your go-to word. Okay, listen closely because this is where a lot of language learners tend to stumble. There is a very strict boundary between the words last and ago. The golden rule for last is that it is always followed directly by a time name. Absolutely no numbers allowed. You say last week, last month, or last year. On the flip side, ago is pretty picky. It requires a number first, then the time unit, and you close it all out with the word ago. So it becomes 2 days ago or 3 weeks ago. The biggest takeaway here, never, ever mix them up. You cannot say something like last 2 days ago. That is a total grammar collision. If it helps, try picturing time as a line moving backwards. The point in time that we call 1 week ago actually falls in the exact same spot on that timeline as last week. It's the same thing for 1 month ago. It holds the exact same value as last month. Both phrases refer to identical moments in time. We're literally just using 2 different grammatical formulas to express them. Section 3. The climax. Mary's uncomfortable shoes. All right, let's put all of this into practice with a quick story. Let's say a customer named Mary returns to the shoe store. She walks right up to the assistant and confidently says, "Excuse me, these shoes are uncomfortable. I bought them last month." Now, purely grammatically speaking, Mary nailed it. A+. She used the subject, followed by the verb to, bought, and she used the time expression last month perfectly with no numbers. A flawless grammar score. But wait, there is a massive logical flaw in her story.
And here comes the really awkward part. The shop assistant frowns, looks at her, and replies, "That's strange. We only got these shoes last week." Ouch, right? The assistant also used perfect grammar, but in doing so, accidentally exposed Mary's lie. I mean, how on earth could Mary have bought them last month if the store itself only received them last week? It just goes to show that mastering time expressions isn't just about passing a grammar test. You also have to make sure your facts actually make sense. Section 4. Quick recap and memory tips. Let's quickly lock in these rules before we wrap up. First tip. Last never, ever pairs with a number. It's just the word last plus the time name, like last week. Second tip. Ago always requires you to count. The formula is number, then time, then ago, like 2 days ago. And third, all of this is happening in the simple past tense using verb to, because your shopping trip is completely finished and left safely in the past. Honestly, this just reminds us of the wonderful flexibility of the English language. Saying I bought it last week and saying I bought it a week ago are both perfectly correct, they sound completely natural, and they mean the exact same thing. As long as you respect those formula limits we just covered, you have total freedom to choose whichever style feels the most comfortable for you when you're speaking. So, now it's over to you. You've got the tools, you've got the vocabulary, the verbs, and the formulas. So, when did you buy your favorite pair of shoes? I want to challenge you right now. Try answering that question out loud to yourself. Make sure you use verb to and the correct past tense time formula. If you can do it smoothly, you have officially mastered this. Thank you so much for tuning into this explainer. Keep practicing those verbs, and we'll see you next time.